Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with a turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day.
Win my auction and not pay? Oh, trust me, you're going to pay. I make art as a hobby. Metal sculptures. I only sell them when I need a bit of money for something. I had a holiday coming up, so listed one here on TradeMe, an auction site, for a $1 reserve. The auction lasted 10 days, and the piece got quite a bit of interest in that time, with lots of people adding it to their watch list and bidding on it. It ended up selling for a bit over $500. Perfect. I contacted the winner with my bank details and asked for their delivery address. No reply. Email again. Nothing. I look into his profile a bit, and sure enough, he doesn't follow through on half the things he buys. Fair few grumpy feedbacks from other sellers. He's completely a time waster. TW. I'm a bit PO'd. I've already had to pay a listing fee, advertising fees, and $40 success fee. I'll eventually get this back, but it's still annoying. And being in limbo on a deal sucks. You kind of expect the money and kind of don't at the same time. Got me raging, so I Googled his email, nothing. I checked to see if he has any listings for sale. He doesn't at the moment. Besides giving him bad feedback, there's really not much else I can do right now, though I add him as a favorite seller. This way, next time he lists something, I'll get emailed about it. But he never does. About a year later, after I'd forgotten all about it, I get a bunch of emails from TradeMe telling me TW has new listings. Seems TW is packing up shop and moving to Australia. Seems everything has got to go, mate. Ironically, his listing states that everything must be picked up by the end of August as I'm moving to Australia. No time wasters. He's got listings for a car, motorcycle, tools, a welder, some furniture, rims, and a bunch of other stuff. I give his feedback another quick look to see if he's changed his ways. He hasn't. Over the following week, I research what a good price would be for everything he lists. I share all his listings with my friends and get them to add his listing to their watch list so he thinks they're popular. Instruct them to go into a bidding war with me on each item up to a certain amount but no further. I win all of his auctions using a bunch of false accounts. Lucky guy gets top dollar for everything. I reply all the winning email confirmations from the various accounts, arranging different pickup times for the goods, agreeing to pay cash on pickup for everything. As the week goes on, I cancel, reschedule, rain check, and delay every pickup, bearing in mind I'm pretending to be a different person for each item from different SIM cards. On the day we arranged to pick up the car, it had been agreed previously that he could continue to use his car up until 2 days before leaving for Australia because I'm a nice guy like that. I text him that I'm on my way, see you at 1. I was late, of course. Nearly there, mate. See you soon, half hour later. 5 minutes away, 20 minutes later. I'm here, where are you? Ignored the text messages and waited for the call. TW. Where are you? Me. Annoying, isn't it? TW. What? Me. Annoying, isn't it? TW. What do you mean? You know, having someone bid on your auction with no intention of buying it. TW. Are you effing kidding? Me. Nope. I remember being quite annoyed when you did it to me. TW. Who? When? Me. I'll let you figure that one out. Click. Over the next few hours, I called him as the welder buyer. Annoying, isn't it? The motorbike buyer. Annoying, isn't it? Outdoor furniture buyer. Annoying, isn't it? All of them. To top it off, I gave him positive feedback on everything I bought, saying he was top trader, A++, easy pickup, good communication. In the coming weeks, I was contacted by TradeMe regarding his dispute. He was wanting to get the success fees back, over $500 altogether, I'd guess. I responded to each of those with the fact that I'd already paid and picked it up and was happy with the item. Not sure if he got those success fees back, but I very much doubt it. And our next story. Crazy old man tries to chase me off, but gets arrested instead. Not sure if this is the right place for this or not. Here we go. So a little backstory. I'm now 30, but have been metal detecting as a hobby for 20 years and have found some amazing items laying in the dirt. So, on to the story. The cast is Crazy Neighbor, Awesome Neighbor, Cop, and me. So my family and I had just recently moved into this small neighborhood in Oklahoma City. Anytime I move anywhere, I always have to pull out my trusty metal detector and do some therapeutic digging. I'd seen my neighbor lady and asked her if I could dig in her yard the following day since I was off work. Hey, awesome neighbor, I was wondering if I could do some metal detecting in your yard. I can even show you any items I dig up. Sure, I've always wondered what was in my yard. My dad used to do that, but he died before he had the chance. I'm working tomorrow, but you have my permission to dig as long as you fill in your holes. No problem. And I'm sorry about your father. It's okay. It's nice to meet our new neighbors anyway. So the next day after getting up, I went next door and laid my coil to the soil and started detecting. I found several wheat pennies and silver dimes. Wheat pennies were minted from 1909 to 1958, for those who don't know. Just about this time, I was halfway done with the front yard, and I hear through my headphones, "Hey, a-hole!" It's Crazy Neighbor. I popped my head up and took off my headphones to see if someone was talking to me. "I'm sorry. Who are you, and why are you yelling at me like that?" "If you don't get off that property, I'm calling the police. You're trespassing and destroying her property, you piece of crap." I'm sorry, but first of all, I have permission to be here. You don't have any right to scream at me. You need something, all you have to do is ask." The Crazy Neighbor started screaming at me in Awesome Neighbor's yard, yelling that he was gonna beat my butt. "You step any further and I'll exercise my right to defend myself," I tell him. "I'm calling the police. You're going to get arrested." "That's fine. Go ahead. I'll keep digging and I'll let the cops know you threatened to hit me." So they head back to their house, and about 10 minutes later, 2 cop cars pull up. "Excuse me, we got a call from a neighbor that you're trespassing on private property." "No, sir. I'm sorry you had to waste your time for this. I did get permission from my neighbor here to metal detect her yard yesterday." The Crazy Neighbor came outside and started cussing at me and threatened to beat me without even asking if I had permission. Even after I told him I had permission, he still threatened me. "Is it that neighbor?" Pointing across the street. Yes, it was. I figured. He's a troublemaker. We get several calls from him quite often. Normally, we just tell people to pay no mind to him. If he causes any more trouble, just call us. Crazy Neighbor then hollers out, "Why aren't you going to arrest him? He's trespassing." The police officer says, "We already talked to the neighbor and she gave him her permission. So there's no crime committed here." At this time, Crazy Neighbor started cussing up a storm, and as such, the police officer finally had enough and had him arrested for disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, threatening physical harm to someone, and making a false police report. After taking my statement, they left with CN in tow. Didn't see him again outside of his home. I also found a 1940s Cub Scout pin that had turned out to be AN's father's when he was a kid. She cried and thanked me after I put it into a frame with a picture of the old 1940s Cub Scouts of America logo. And our next story for you. I got revenge on my neighbor, and he still has no idea I even did anything to him. My neighbor from a couple doors down and I had a long-running feud. It all started when his dog came into my backyard and my dog attacked it. I was nearby and able to call off my dog before it got serious, but the other dog did have a couple of bite wounds. The neighbor wanted me to pay the vet bill. When he threatened me with a lawsuit, I offered to pay half, even though I owed him nothing. It was his dog that was off the leash and in my yard after all. He declined the offer, took me to small claims court, and lost. The trial lasted all of 3 minutes when the judge found in my favor. That set into motion him starting to F with me on a regular basis. My garbage cans would get knocked over every trash day. He'd honk his horn and flip me off if he drove by my house. He tried to get my 10-year-old son arrested for riding another neighbor's mini bike. Never called the cops on their kids, just mine. It was all stupid, petty crap. But it was a lot of stupid, petty crap, and we were growing frustrated and mildly concerned about what he might do. We eventually grew tired of it and filed a restraining order against him. We dropped the legal case against him when we received a letter from his lawyer stating that he would refrain from any sort of contact with any of my family for a period of 2 years. Things settled down at that point. But I wasn't satisfied. I'd been staying on the high road through all of this, not responding to any of his bullcrap in any way. I had a desire to get revenge, but never acted on it. Then one day, I hatched my plan of evil genius. I was in the hardware store and noticed some Japanese beetle traps. These traps are just a plastic bag with a scent pack. The beetles are drawn to the scent, fall in the bag, and can't get out. They also sold refill packages of the scent packs for $4 a package. My neighbor has a very large rose garden in his front lawn. It's his pride and joy. Japanese beetles love roses. So I bought 4 packages of the refill packs. The scent pack is a waxy substance in a shallow plastic cup. I put the packs in the freezer overnight to allow me to pull the wax out easily. The next morning, I woke up at 3 a.m., popped the wax squares out of their cups, and put them in a baggie. Then I crept over to my neighbor's house and spread the wax squares in the mulch under his rose garden, covering them from view with a bit of the hardwood mulch. The day was a hot one. By 11 a.m., it was over 90 degrees. I figured the wax had probably melted in the dark mulch. Also, by 11 a.m., the Japanese beetles were starting to arrive at my neighbor's roses. I went on a bike ride later in the evening and could see a small swarm of them attacking the roses. My neighbor not yet noticed what was happening. By noon the next day, there was a freaking cloud of them. There had to be hundreds, if not thousands. My neighbor noticed. That afternoon, I could see him spraying them and spreading 7 powder and waving his arms in the air in frustration. By the third day, there were thousands of the beetles, if not tens of thousands. They were everywhere in his front lawn and wreaking havoc on his roses. By the end of the fourth day, there was nothing left of his rose garden other than a few tattered leaves and thorny stalks. Those damn scent packs must have drawn every Japanese beetle in for miles around. I'd never seen so many in a single place. And that was it. The deed was done. I was satisfied and laughing, quietly to myself, but laughing and laughing. I never told a soul what I did, not even my wife. This was a few years ago, and his rose garden is fully recovered now, and it'll stay beautiful so long as he keeps being a quiet neighbor. This is the perfect amount of smart and sneaky. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.